Why did you come here many years ago?
I was obsessed with going to the London School of Economics, which is where we're standing right now, and this is home for me.
That if you're spending 15 to 20,000 pounds at a university for your education, and if you don't engage enough, jobs won't come to you easily.
To discuss this phenomenon called the United Kingdom and why it continues to be popular among Indian students, even as we see a decline in the number of Indian students coming here, I have with me on this panel a set of many students and one who looks like a student herself, Sanam. Let's start with introductions. In a line, tell me who you are.
Sanam Arora, I'm founder and chair of an organization called the National Indian Students and Alumni Union UK. So we look after the welfare of all of you guys who come over to the UK to study, and even after graduation we support you. And before, I'm also one of the commissioners of the UK's International Higher Education Commission, where we look at what the policies for the country are with the world as it comes to education.
Excellent. May I just add, Sanam has been such a great resource for students who come here, especially of Indian origin, building this one-stop platform for all information on visas, on just how to go about London City. Let's go to you.
Hello, I'm Prajwala. I'm studying fashion marketing at UAL and I came here last September.
Hi, Prajwala.
Hi, my name is Kumar Vishesh. I'm working in marketing and working with Nisao as well. I came here around 2022, so yeah.
Okay, so you're working now.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I'm Darshan. I've done my bachelor's and master's from University of East London, and I work at University of East London as well.
Excellent.
I'm Om Thakkar. I'm from Mumbai and I'm here studying at Queen Mary. I'm doing Masters in Investment and Finance.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks so much. Such a diverse range of streams, etc. I'm going to start with you, Sanam. Facts first. 20% is what we saw as a dip from 2023 to 2024. But 2023, the UK was stunned itself. It saw the largest surge in more than 40 years. And talk us through a little bit about the trends and whether this is some sort of a correction, Sanam, of the numbers coming down, or is it a serious decline in the numbers of Indian students coming?
Yes, Radhika, that's a pertinent question. First of all, I'd like to clarify, there is no huge decline that is unexpected in some ways. You correctly used the word correction. It is largely a correction because post-COVID, we saw a lot of pent-up demand from countries like India, where students hadn't gone out for so long, had all these aspirations, and so we had this crazy surge in the numbers of students coming to the UK. Largely, I think there are a couple of different causes which have now led to this 20% decline. The first of which is a correction of that very, very large spike. So there is an element of that. A second aspect is some changes that took place last year. So the UK decided that student dependence on taught courses, so not research courses, but taught courses were no longer going to be allowed, which I don't necessarily agree with, and we are going to fight hard to hopefully to rescind that requirement, that regulation. But fundamentally, that led to certain students who wish to bring their dependents over, perhaps choosing not to come over, and because of that regulation. And then finally, the other thing that happened was that there was an announcement that the graduate route, which is a 2-year post-study work visa that all international students, including all Indians, are eligible to secure after they complete their studies. There was an announcement that there was a review being put to see whether there was any abuse of the graduate route, which a lot of the media, for some reason, portrayed in India as though the graduate route had gone. So those three, which it hadn't, and by the way, we fought very, very hard to bring this post-study work visa in the first place, and very hard to keep it last year. But the announcement and some false news around it, the dependence change, and then a natural correction has perhaps led to this sort of 20% decline. But overall, numbers remain relatively steady for the UK.
Excellent. That's a great summary of the several factors that are affecting the numbers of students coming here. At the moment, there are a little over 1 lakh Indian students who are studying this year in the United Kingdom, having come in September 2024, like our friend Prajwala is here from Bangalore.
Yes, I'm
from Bangalore.
Yes, okay. Just some basics. The UK continues to be a popular destination for higher education because of a variety of reasons. Just the history, the classy education that is available, highly respected across the globe. It is an English-speaking nation, which makes it extremely convenient for Indian students who are visiting here and to basically get around. And you would have seen how easy it is to jump on a tube and figure out your journey, which may be very difficult elsewhere. And of course, the long history that India and the UK shares. Beyond all of that and beyond the value of the education that is available, I think the factor that it's an 11-hour flight or a 10-hour flight from Delhi or Bombay or Bangalore to the United Kingdom, still not as far as the US is, still not as far as some other nations maybe such as Canada, but still is having that access to both Europe, etc. So all of these factors makes the UK extremely popular, especially London. And our Bollywood connection with London never goes, does it? So the basics, there are several master's courses, 1 year of master's usually in the United Kingdom, and post your course, there's a possibility of getting a post-study work visa, which, like Sanam said, for many years wasn't there. It was scrapped off, but then several consistent efforts, including Nisau's protest, including several thought leaders coming forth to join arms and say that this is a must. And when India contributes so greatly, why not give Indian students this opportunity for post-study work visa? Turned out to be a validation of the protest. So there are 2 years of post-study work visa that is available for an added cost.
Yes.
Let's not talk about costs. We hate that topic. We hate it. Let's do some LinkedIn style conversation, but please be honest. Why did you come to the UK?
So I would say there were like several factors in terms of mine, because one of mine is like the exploring the culture and the education sector here, because I was switching career from finance to marketing and coming to the UK, learning from basics to advanced, and now I'm becoming a Royal Society members also. That was one of the reason I came to the UK. And most importantly, the money part, I would say, because here the opportunity goes in a horizontal way. You can learn also and you can work also at the same level. So I would say that was the different factors from the other country to this country. And
So the money, thank you for being honest. The fact that you wanted to somewhat try and make a transition. Do you have the intention to settle here?
I would say yes, because as far things are going for right now, I would try to settle here. I would give my best to settle here, and yes, I would say that.
Great, good luck with that. Why did you come
so
here?
I came here because I'm studying fashion marketing, so I wanted to be in a fashion capital, and London being an English-speaking country, I wouldn't need to learn a new language, so I ended up here.
Okay. Sanam, why did you come here many years ago?
I was obsessed with going to the London School of Economics, which is where we're standing right now, and this is home for me. I always just knew that I wanted to get to the best economic school possible. LSE has a great brand, as we all know, and just a fantastic learning experience. So yeah, and that's what drove me here is the academic quality and just a certain obsession with the LSE.
Yes. Which is not unique only to you, by the way. A lot of Indians have that.
I came here in 2017 to do my bachelor's. I completed 12th, and I always wanted to study abroad, and UK was one of the destinations.
Why UK, but?
I think because of the reputation of United Kingdom's education, it's much well known, and I've got my friends, families graduated from here. For me, it was to build that global network after graduation. So that was one of the key decisions in making, and I completed my bachelor's, as I mentioned, and my master's as well from University of East London, and I think I'm very grateful for the universities in the UK for providing that sort of support to the international students where they can grow in their career.
So you're a success story where you studied in a university, completed your course, finished your master's, and then you found a job, but you attribute it to a lot of things you did to get there, didn't you? What did you do right?
I would say I engaged, even I didn't want to, even if I was shy, I contributed to the classes. I engaged multiple departments in university, like Students' Union. There's a highly invested career zone in university which helps the students to build the skills which are required in the job market. So I think this is something which I would say to the prospective students coming to the UK, that if you're spending 15 to 20,000 pounds at a university for your education, and if you don't engage enough, jobs won't come to you easily. So if you engage, there are all these services and you need to leverage those. So universities, they do invest in these career services and growth services even after your graduation. If you engage, if you put your hard work in developing your soft skill, which are required for the job market, you would find a job. So make sure you engage.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that. Why did you come here and when did you come here? Remind me.
So I came last September, which is 2024 September. So it's been 6-7 months since I'm here. So the reason why I came here, because it's the heart of the world, of the capital market. So being centrally located, so it's in between all the timings. So when you trade, you can trade from all the timings when you're here in UK. Biggest financial market, so I think there are a lot of opportunities that I can explore. And as you said, networking here is amazing. So that's one thing.
Yeah, spoken like a true finance student. Are you happy? Is anyone regretting?
No, I'm not exactly regretting, but I can see how it's getting hard for me here, because expenses, being a student as well as working, is a little hard. So,
And then there's also this advice that you need to engage. So how are you supposed to attend classes, do your assessments, do your assignments, engage, look at London, meet friends, build those relationships, work 20 hours? How?
Okay, so for me, I'm not exactly doing all of them. I'm not working for 20 hours. That's how I'm getting time for myself to roam around and meet friends.
Explains why she can't pay her bills.
Yeah. So yeah, even getting a job, it's not that easy. If you don't have relevant experiences, they're not giving you a job. So yeah, you just have to get on. It was never meant to be easy.
It's so amazing, isn't it, Sanam? People come, international students from a variety of towns, villages, cities, come with a bag full of dreams and think of so many things. I'm going to London because it's London, plus the UK is not any less. Many going to Scotland now and various other universities. And then there are several things they mitigate with. Like our friend Kumar has been sleeping for 4 hours a day, which probably wasn't what they thought. They were thinking, I'm going to London. It's going to look so great on my Instagram. Not the least of what Instagram looks like, does it?
Well, Instagram is a problem on the whole, because everyone's faking a lot of things on Insta, and we no matter where you are in the world. Yeah. But I would say, a bit like Kumar said, look, often what happens is students come, no matter where you're going, UK or elsewhere, you don't necessarily fully appreciate what is it that you're purchasing. My advice to students is to think like an investor. This country offers you the opportunity to either grab an existing opportunity or the opportunity to create an opportunity. It can be absolutely transformative, but the onus is on you. It is not easy, because they expect you to man up or woman up and get things done yourself. So you won't have the house support necessarily that a lot of us are used to in India. You will not have the luxuries that many of us feel very entitled to when we come from a background like ours. So you are going to have to give up some stuff. You are going to have to learn how to cook. I still struggle with that sometimes. That may be a separate issue. But you are going to have to decide what it is that's meaningful to you. What do you want out of this experience? And as I said, think like a consumer, think like an investor, but also don't expect to come here and with the only outcome being, I just want a job. That cannot be the only thing driving your mind. It's your life. Think about it as a transformative experience and the UK as a roadmap to getting there.
Excellent advice. Think as an investor, not just a student. Think as someone who's putting in a lot of money, maybe your parents' money or a student loan or your own savings. So how you would sort of draw back and how you want to build your life from there. This was so great so far. I'm just going to go across to Om and Darshan, because they're two ends of the spectrum, right? One who came in 24 September and one who came here in 2017 and is now a success story and is now guiding students on how to go about life. So I'm going to come there to speak more about the other opportunities which are not on the cards, mentioned on the pamphlets of universities, where to go, who to knock for information, and above everything, how to keep your head above water. Because I think that's what you can probably manage being a student in London, just to keep your head above water in terms of finances, assessments, etc. And more such advice coming your way. Stay tuned to NDTV. back. We're discussing the very many factors that are affecting numbers of Indian students coming here. And I'll say affecting, and I won't call it a decline now. Let's start with you. Anything that you had imagined would work very well for you when you landed here at Heathrow with a big bag full of dreams and turned out to be different? Something you did right?
I think there were two things that I did really right. One of them was engaging with the community. So I got engaged. So I got introduced to someone from the Swaminarayan Temple, the BAP Swaminarayan Temple at Neasden, and they do a lot of community work. And so they engage with a lot of students and they help them out with everything, right from career. So let's say if you want to get a job at JP Morgan, in 5 years where you see yourself, they'll target someone from that community who's there at that position, and he will help you mentor to reach that in 5 years. Something what Sanam also does in that kind of community, you can say. And I think another I would say is a bit of educational stuff is very different from what we have in India. So there is a lot of things which are practical. You don't have exams for certain universities. You have to come up with projects, start coding and just put on LinkedIn and do things. So it's very different in that way, I would say.
Okay, excellent advice. So engage with the community and find a girl to get engaged to in the community.
I think what I would say, back when I came here 2017, the story was different. At my university, there were only 30 Indian students out of 15,000 student demographics. What I felt a disconnect as well, that how do I engage enough, as I said. So what I did is I created an Indian society. I signed up, I went with the proposal to the university and they approved it. I think what Sanam mentioned, this is what this country, this universities, they do support with. If you go with a sensible plan, they will help you with it. They will help with the funding. So when we built this Indian society, part which touched in on engaging with the community. If there is not any community, create one and be a part of it, lead one, and make sure that you give that space for the students to join and learn from it. So we had different roles like events officer, finance officer. The students used to come there, volunteer with us, and those little soft skills have worked really well. Now all the former officers and committee members, they are working in a very highly reputed jobs back home in India and here in the sector as well. So these sort of things have really worked well for me.
Well done, Darshan. Create an opportunity, as mentioned. Okay, great. How bad is it looking for universities, Sanam, in terms of income? Is there a concern that the numbers consistently declining may mean less income, because it is a very well-paying segment and a contributor to the GDP of Britain, which at the moment we know is not bad, is not good at all?
No, I think we saw that the Chancellor revised the forecast for growth as well just yesterday. So, but I would say that for a country like the UK, look, we've not had as a country the chance, I think, necessarily to heal from even the financial crisis that started in 2008. But we have a government in place now which is doing everything I think it can, and I say this as a non-biased entity, to get that growth growing. And the kind of growth prospects that we can see will mean that things will start to improve economically soon. The point you make about education, so the UK fundamentally will treat, as many other countries do, international students as educational exports. So this is an export sector for the UK, and as that, it's probably the third or the fourth largest export for the country. So it is a deeply valued sector, both economically, and the country recognizes also the non-economic benefits that come from international students, significantly recognizes that, which is why we offer a 2 to 3 year post-study work visa for students who come here. So I think if numbers decline, of course, there will be a knock-on impact on finances. And it is also true that international students cross-subsidize a lot of the experience of the home students. But collectively, the experience that's offered to students on the whole is absolutely transformational. So I think I will go back to saying, as long as you can make the decision that's right for you, it'll become easy to shut out all the noise. There is a lot of noise from marketing from agents and marketing from a lot of entities on Insta and media. All the every Tom, Dick and Harry is also an agent these days, right? You go wherever you go in India and they all have their shops stuck up. So I want you to tune out the noise, and I want you to focus on what you want and get the right research done yourself and through careers counselors or otherwise to be able to figure out what's right for you. And once you do that, none of that will necessarily matter, because you will come and find that, I think when you were here, the post-study work visa did not exist. And look at that success story. And all of you now have access to either a 2 or a 3 year post-study work visa, depending on what you've studied, which means that you have the opportunity to not settle for something as working in a cafe or whatever, although that's fine. I waited tables for £3 an hour back in the day, which is absolutely fine as well if you have to. But you don't need to settle, because the graduate route I want to call out, is an unsponsored route, which means that you don't need to find the first job and latch itself onto that, because otherwise you will be sent back home. No, you won't. You have 2 years to 3 years to figure out what that good work looks like for you. And the only other thing I'd like to point out, Radhika, is we are working with the British Council, and we have a whole series of tours planned across India. So we will be coming from the 9th of April to the 3rd of May, 7 cities across India, and then in October again, where we are bringing UK universities like the #1 ranked UK university through to other very specialist universities. All of yours, by the way, will be joining us. You can come and ask directly your questions without middlemen in the middle. Engage with universities, get the answers you need, absolutely free of charge as well. So I'd like to give that plug in.
Great, excellent. So look up NISAU, NISAU. You heard from the chairperson Sanam, who's going to be touring in India in April. If you have any questions, you can reach out. Try and get information firsthand. Agents are good, but agents don't necessarily mean keep your interest in mind first. It could also mean their own interest. Yes, Sanam says that the economy is likely to improve in the UK, but it could take years, perhaps 2030, when actual corrections and growth can be seen. And the truth on the ground here is it's very, very, very expensive to live in London and in the UK.
The pound to the rupee.
Pound to the rupee. Don't even make those calculations now, because it is really unreal at the moment. So do talk to students on the ground, NISA on the ground, on what it means to work 20 hours, even if you find a job, how much a rent would be, and would that be enough, or do I still need to get more money apart from the fees itself from India? So these are questions that you should be asking. UK. A hot destination or not? Hot or not?
Yes, hot. Very hot.
Okay. And something that quickly changed your outset or thinking process? Any example, anecdote?
Not exactly, but I think London itself is a really vibrant place to network and meet a lot of people from all around the world. So yeah, it's really good to be here.
Okay, no regrets. UK, hot or not?
I would say it's still very hot, and it will be hot because of the education services and education quality and the research quality which UK provides. And no regrets till now. So yeah.
Okay. Very expensive, very hot still, and a lot of hard work. But it seems, from what I see on all of these 5 faces, and perhaps even mine, it's probably worth it. I think it's worth it because, like Sanam said, it's transformational. Thank you so much, guys. I'm afraid this conversation is one which I never want to end because there's just so many lovely topics to discuss. But then we have to end this show. But if you have questions, drop them. And if you have any more suggestions on what we should discuss, drop those suggestions in as well. Radhika Iyer signing off from London School of Economics in London.